School was boring for Agastya. Most of the time, he would sit at the back of his class and draw random things that came to his mind. After school, he would attend his tuition classes and walk back home depressed, wishing he did not exist at all. Then one day in Standard 6th, just before winter vacation, Agastya's class teacher introduced a new student to the class. Her name was Varsha. She was new in the city as well. That was the moment when Agastya saw Varsha for the first time. Varsha was used to changing schools. Her father had a transferable job, and her family was used to moving from one city to another. Sometimes, even in the middle of an academic session, Varsha would have to change schools. As a student, she was outstanding in everything, be it studies or extracurricular activities. She would become everyone's favorite wherever she went. Agastya was mesmerized by Varsha when he saw her for the first time. He felt as if he had seen an angel. He had never seen such a beautiful girl before. At least now, there would be a reason for him to come to school, he thought. From that moment on, Agastya's attendance shot up to 100%. Whether it rained or there was an India-Pakistan cricket match, it did not matter to him. He made sure to attend school every day. In school, all he did was look at Varsha. Agastya was an introvert and hardly spoke to anyone. Varsha and Agastya used to exchange glances in school, but never really spoke to each other. Agastya did not know that Varsha was aware of him trying to catch a glimpse of her all the time. Agastya did not know that Varsha found him very cute. In fact, she found him the cutest. Varsha was waiting for Agastya to talk to her someday. In Standard 7th, just before summer vacation, Agastya gathered courage and decided he would finally talk to Varsha. Enough of staring at her all day, he thought. It had been months since Varsha had joined school. It was high time he talked to her. The holidays were going to be long. There had to be some way to connect to her during holidays. He did not even know where Varsha lived. He did not know anything about her at all. Maybe he could get her landline number. Maybe he could visit her house someday. He did not know where he got his courage from, but that day he finally approached Varsha. Varsha turned and Agastya was dumbstruck. He suddenly forgot what to speak. He even forgot how to speak and what languages he knew. He could not say a word. Should he introduce himself or directly ask her for her number? He wondered. Well, she certainly knew his name. She might have heard it during attendance. She must have seen him in class in all these months, he thought. Varsha smiled and knew exactly why Agastya was here for. Taking out a notebook to write would take time, so she took his hands into her own and wrote a number on it. She told Agastya he can call her any time he wanted. Agastya felt like a superhero after getting Varsha's number. He was just so excited about what will happen next. The same day after reaching home and getting fresh, Agastya dialed up the number. His family still had a landline phone and did not have a mobile phone yet. He was excited to hear Varsha's voice. Instead of Varsha, it was a man who picked up the phone. The man continuously kept on saying hello in a harsh voice. Agastya got scared and did not say anything. He immediately put down the phone, wondering who the man was. Just a few minutes after that, Varsha herself called Agastya. She said it was her father who had picked up the phone. Her family had recently removed their landline and bought a new mobile. They had just one mobile at home and all her family members used the same. And with that, they had their first proper conversation with each other. The summer vacation of Standard 7th was really memorable for Agastya. His daily routine was set. He would play cricket all day, have his mango milkshake, and study for 2 hours in the evening. After studies, he would call up Varsha and talk to her for at least an hour. Then he would listen to songs on his MP3 player and think about Varsha. Throughout the summer, Agastya would visit cyber cafes every weekend. There were new social media websites popping up now and then, and Agastya was in Varsha's friend list in each and every one of them. Varsha had her own computer at home, and she would anxiously wait for Agastya to come online. Their chatting continued for hours. School reopened and their friendship became stronger. Sometimes, Varsha would bring extra food in a lunchbox to share with Agastya. Time passed, they grew up and reached Standard 10th. Varsha became the center of attention of the entire school. From juniors to seniors, everyone had a crush on her. She was just so pretty. But Varsha had a crush on Agastya. She had only Agastya in her heart. He was her first and only priority. Now, both of them had their own personal mobile. After school and tuition, they would make sure to text each other. It was standard 10th, and Agastya and Varsha had joined the same chemistry tuition classes. After classes, they would walk back home together. Sometimes, they would stop on the way back to have ice cream. They had to work hard to get good marks in 10th boards. The burden and stress of exams were reduced when they were with each other. It was during the summer vacation of standard 10th when Agastya and Varsha bunked a tuition test and watched a movie together, their first movie with each other in the theatre. It felt beautiful. They realized what they had was something really special. It was while watching the movie that Agastya knew for sure he loved Varsha. Things continued the same way for months. They would attend school, attend their tuition classes, and walk back home together. One day while walking back, Varsha told Agastya she needed to talk about something. Varsha's father was getting transferred again. The entire family was again shifting cities. Not only this, her family had decided she would be sent to Kota after 10th. She would stay in a hostel there and prepare for medical entrance exams. It was not that her family was forcing her to do medical. She was very clear that she had to become a doctor. She would have to cut off from the whole world for 2 years. Agastya did not say anything, but understood what Varsha was trying to say. He too had realized way before that one day or the other they had to separate. He knew a day was going to come when they were going to be in different colleges, pursuing different courses, living different lives. It's just the moment had come nearer. The 10th board exams were close. They worked hard and studied all day. Their interaction had to be limited. Varsha's parents took her phone and locked it up so she could focus on her studies. The 10th board results came and both of them got similar marks. The marks were not an issue, but Agastya and Varsha felt sad that the time for separation had finally come. Agastya was staying back in town. What made him sad was not that Varsha was going to Kota for studies. What made him sad was the fact that her entire family was shifting thousands of miles away, which meant even during holidays, Varsha won't be in his town. He won't be able to meet her. This fact hit him really hard. Varsha had packed her bags. Her train would leave that evening. She was not happy. The only person she confided in was Agastya. Agastya was her best friend. She loved Agastya and she knew he loved her too. Agastya was her first love and Varsha was Agastya's first love. Their first pure friendship and pure love. Agastya was feeling restless the entire day. All the memories came flashing by. Varsha's first day in school, him asking for her number, the summer vacation of standard 7th, her sharing lunch with him, their first movie together, the long walk back home. It all came back. He had already called and texted her goodbye, but he felt it was not enough. He wanted to see her one last time. He wanted to listen to her voice one last time. He picked up his bicycle and cycled to the station as fast as he could. He decided he would confess what he felt for her. He hoped that maybe out of some miracle, Varsha would decide to stay back. Maybe she would decide to join his coaching class and study with him. There was still a chance. He knew for sure she loved him too. Agastya reached the station on time and ran to the platform where Varsha's train was supposed to be. There was only one train leaving for Kota that evening. After running madly throughout the platform, he finally saw Varsha. There she was. Beautiful Varsha, Agastya's first love. But she seemed very sad. The same moment, Varsha felt something. She sensed Agastya was around. But how was it possible? Why would he be here now? The train was about to leave in a minute. She turned and looked out of the window. It was indeed Agastya. There he was. Cute Agastya, Varsha's first love, waving her goodbye. The train started to move. Nothing could be done now. Varsha went further and further away. The train gathered speed and went away, diminished and disappeared. Agastya kept on standing there, wishing for the train to stop, but it was all over. Agastya sat there on the platform for hours, blank and sad. He prayed for Varsha's happy journey and happy life. It was the end of a magical time. Nobody knew of their friendship. Nobody knew what they felt for each other. Nobody knew of their beautiful love story.